What a day for the St. Louis Blues. Honestly, between the fact that we now have our head coach and we also have our draft pick lottery order, it has been quite a hectic day. Also, Colton Parayko, something on you too. I'm going to talk about all this coming up here on Locked on Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to Locked On Blues. I'm your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues. I am in Florida right now, sunburned, but I do have on all my Blues merch because I knew that today was the draft lottery pick day, and little did I know I was going to pull a Kevin Weeks again about some of the information I got earlier today. So Drew Bannister is staying. The Blues stay at the 16th overall draft pick. And hello, Colton Parayko. A lot to talk about on today's episode. Thank you for joining me. I want to let you know before I begin today's episode, game off, we got to talk more about Monopoly Go. This fast-paced game lets you team up with friends for tournaments to unlock awesome prizes like unique stickers for trading, cool playing pieces, and hilarious emojis for taunting your friends. So download Monopoly Go now free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on. Okay, we need to talk. Hi, welcome back to Locked On Blues. We need to talk. I pulled a Kevin Weeks today. I'm in the pool. I'm on vacation in Florida. And all of a sudden I get a little notification because I got it sent to the Apple Watch. Drew Bannister will remain Blues' head coach and interim tag comes off. My honest reaction was I'm quite surprised. And I know that Banny was in the small group of people that Doug wanted to talk to. But if you're trying to fight me and saying, oh, you shouldn't be surprised, well, I am surprised because Doug Armstrong said that he wanted to have a decision before the draft and that he was looking more towards June to make the decision. It is May 7th, okay? Early in May, and I really thought that maybe Brind'Amour would somehow become the Blues' coach. I mean, he played for us, so I'm like, okay, like maybe that could happen. I just didn't expect it to be so sudden. And maybe it's because of the draft lottery pick tonight. I just wasn't sure why the decision got made now. Maybe a candidate that he was talking to ended up not working out. But I hope you can understand my reasoning for being a little bit confused. Just because when the GM says something to you like, oh, hey, I'm thinking in June. But I was in the pool anyways. And I'm taking this video and I'm like, breaking news, the St. Louis Blues. And it was really funny because I feel like whenever there's breaking news with the Blues, I'm somehow in Florida. And it's just a coincidence that I always kind of crack up a little bit. But here's the thing. Bannister was named interim head coach on December 12th after the team fired Craig Berube. So the Blues did have a 30-19-5 record, 65 points with Bannister, who helped them to improve from the 23rd to the 12th team in so positives. So a lot of things like the Blues, they went up 11 points this season, blah, blah, blah. So another thing too is Armstrong said all assistants would return under Bannister and he wants them to build those relationships. So I think that it's one of those things where everything is going to stay the same. Armstrong also said he did a very good job in a difficult situation last year, now having a full training camp and a 2-year term to put a stamp on this team, and we're looking forward to that. So one thing too is it's 2 years, and before you panic, you never know what's going to be done, right? You never know if next season he could take the Blues to the playoffs. And obviously, again, I'm repping my blue note because I knew that, there's always drama when I'm in Florida with the Blues. But the team wasn't bad under Bannister. They had some bad games, right? You had that Blue Jackets game before the All-Star break. You had the whole San Jose disaster. But I think now with a consistent 1 year next season and then another season after, he could really make this his own, right? He doesn't have to worry about, when I came in December, he could just say, you know what? Hey, I'm here. Let me establish myself. Let me establish what I can do. The Blues did improve on their power play under Bannister. That is something I will say. And it looked like he was getting the locker room back. I did like Bannister a lot for the T-Birds, a little bias, but I think that overall, when you're looking at the success and what the Blues need to do to succeed, you need consistency. You need a guy that's going to be there from the summertime and training camp on. And I think what Doug Armstrong said does clarify a lot of things. He was dealt in a really difficult situation last year when he came in. And I am somebody who said that I'm confused because, again, it just doesn't add up because a part of me is like, I understand that he was put in a difficult situation, right? In St. Louis, I hope you can understand. But why didn't Doug just name Bannister then, right? Why did we have to wait 3 weeks? To me, that just seems kind of like maybe you were talking to somebody else and it didn't work out. I mean, hey, that happens to me all the time in life. But I want to know what you think. Why do you think now on May 7th, Drew Bannister's interim tag came off? Do you think it's because there was another candidate in mind and it just didn't work out? Or do you think that this was the plan all along? I know that a lot of you, when I asked, were like, you know what, there's no way he's going to be the head coach. And I said, I think there might be a possibility. And people were like, no, Haley, that's not going to happen. And now here we are. So I am curious what you think, because I know that I'm not the only one that has this reaction. And despite who the coach is, I still feel like there is enough talent, especially if you make some trades, acquire some free agents over the summer to become a playoff team. I just think that I personally would have liked a more veteran coach in the league who has established themselves. I think the nice thing when I think about Coach Berube, when we got him, was that he was established, right? And he was really able to look at this team and change them for the better. I mean, I know it's different players and I understand that, but I want to have that coach that has a vision, that knows how they can take these puzzle pieces and these players and bring out the best of them. And that's what Berube did when he came in, and we ended up winning the cup that year. I'm not saying that that's going to happen anytime that kind of situation, comes about. And I think with Bannister, I mean, hey, if you think about it, he had a pretty decent record. I think that, and I'm a little biased in my opinion, because one, I love Chief. And when he got fired, I was really upset and distraught over that. Two, when we had somebody be brought in during a season, it was Berube, and we ended up winning the Stanley Cup. So I think I had some really high expectations for what an interim coach could do. I thought, hey, because he was with the T-Birds, the guys would really, adapt well to him. And I think they have. I just think that his coaching style, he's a little bit more relaxed, but he also came in December. So I need to realize that. Do you feel like, and I'm asking you, and let me know, I'm on YouTube, I'm live. I said I wasn't going to go live. I'm live again. I had to go live. I wanted to talk to my friends here. Do you feel like the Blues are going to respond well to him, having him for an entire season? Or do you feel like these 2 years are kind of like buffer years until they find somebody else that they like better? I think Doug's a huge fan of Bannister. I really am. I think when Doug Armstrong likes somebody, he makes it well known. And, he gave that indication at the end of the season press conference on breakup day. Hey, I will be talking to him on my small group of people. Do you think that was because he wanted us to maybe get situated with the idea that he might stay? I'm really surprised still. And I feel like my surprise, it's not an upset surprise. It's not. It's not a disappointed surprise. It's more just confusion of why Drew Bannister was never named head coach without the interim tag during the end of the season presser. He had plenty of time to say, you know what? We are going to take that interim tag off. We were going to give him a 2-year deal. Boom, boom, boom. But instead, it was these weeks. And that's where I'm confused. Was there somebody else that Doug Armstrong wanted to be the head coach of the St. Louis Blues? Will that be a question we're going to find out? Probably not. But I am curious to know. So I want to see how he is in a full season. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm excited for him because I do feel like he has brought out some really good things in these players. And who's to say that Drew Bannister isn't going to impress us all? So I'm going to give him, nothing. Obviously, you respect the coach, right? But I'm going to give him a chance. Clean slate. You're not Craig Berube, okay? I don't expect you to do Berube things in terms of coming in and winning the cup that first year. But what I do expect is to continue to improve on the power play. You're keeping all the same guys. That's awesome. Let's focus on what's most important, and that is improving the power play, a better PK, and also less turnovers. So we need to work on all of those things, work on the defense. And, it's up to Doug Nail. Make some trades, get some free agents that are going to help the Blues with their defense. Do all those things, and you're going to have a playoff contending team who is actually going to be in the playoffs and not just a contending team. Like, we need to go into the playoffs. Before I talk about the draft lottery and my thoughts on that one, I just want to let you know about my friends at Monopoly Go. Game off. We got to pause here to talk more about Monopoly Go. I know what you're thinking. Flag on the play. You already talked about that. But there's so much good stuff in this game. In Monopoly Go, you can team up with friends for time tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock. And there's so much to get. Unique stickers you can trade with friends to compete, albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, hilarious emojis for taunting friends, and when you smash the buildings or their vaults. Plus, Monopoly No feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like Digging for Treasure or Robot Machine. And there's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover. Monopoly Go, so get off the bench and go download it now free on the Google Play or App Store. Game on. So the NHL draft lottery was tonight. And I think it's rigged. And you might be wondering, Haley, why do you think it's rigged? Well, today on Twitter, a photo got leaked actually of the lottery board. And they all said, oh, this is a practice one. Nothing ever in that draft lottery ever changes anymore. And I get it. I get how it works. I get the fact that you have to give, the draft lottery to, the teams that were the worst. And I get that. But at the end of the day, it just seems to me like, really like you're telling me after all these little tennis balls got moved, that's what happened. But anywho, the reason why I bring this, it's not to bash on the NHL, right? It's to talk about the draft lottery. So my friends over at Puck Report NHL basically were live tweeting all this. And the programming took forever to get to. It was annoying. This is the order from 16th to 1st. At 16th, staying where we were at. Yep, staying at 16. St. Louis Blues. And you know what makes it worse? They cut off our logo. You can't even see it on here, but they cut off our blue note, so that sucked. 15 is Detroit. 14 is San Jose. They made a trade with Pitt. 13th is Minnesota. 12 is Philadelphia. 11 is Buffalo. 10 is Jersey. 9 is Calgary. 8 is Seattle. 7th is Ottawa. 6 is Utah, aka Coyotes. 5th is Montreal. 4 is Columbus. 3rd is Anaheim. 2nd is Chicago. And 1st is San Jose. I am really happy about the fact that Chicago didn't get the first draft pick again. And this is from Greg Wisniewski. The San Jose Sharks actually won the first 3 draft lottery draws. The Blackhawks won the 4th drawing for the 2nd overall pick. First time in NHL draft history, they had 1 redo, let alone 2. So I was a little confused on that. I think the second draw was for number 2. I didn't understand it. I think it's because San Jose couldn't pick first and second, which is how someone explained it. But I know you and I talking. I knew that St. Louis was not going to move up. I knew that. I was like, you know what? They're going to stay at 16th, but a little part of me was like, what if they get 15th? What if? Because I know what you're thinking, Hale. What's the difference? It could be a difference between, and I had a whole episode with Russ Cohen a couple of days ago talking about all the prospects. It might be the difference between getting that guy or another guy. You never know. And between us, do you know how bad of a feeling it is to be the best worst team? The best worst team. No, it sucks. But the other thing with this whole NHL draft, lottery that just annoys me tremendously, they kind of encourage you to tank, right? And I know they had the whole, tank for Bedard, and I get that. But the Blues are in a position where we really needed a good two-way defenseman. And I just felt like if we just moved up a little bit, it's a great defensive draft class. The Blues could acquire somebody like that. I know Sam Dickinson isn't going to be available to us, and I get that. We're 16th. I get that. But if we got moved to an 11th, then we could. But I know that's not going to happen. I know that there was a very slim chance. But just the fact that we stayed, I wish they showed us the videos of them drawing the balls, because it's like they have the media that are there lock their phones away. I have all these conspiracies about this, and it bothers me. And I don't want it to bother me, but it does. And I hope you can appreciate the fact that I am so passionate about this stupid selection of balls being drawn, to the fact where I'm like, I have conspiracy theories I feel about this, because at the end of the day, it just doesn't make sense to me. There's very few things in life that make sense to me. And this doesn't make sense to me. So let me know what you think. Do you think that I'm going crazy right now? Or do you think that, like, is it me? Do you feel this way? Do you think the NHL draft lottery is rigged? And if so, let me know, because I don't think whatsoever that it's fair. And kind of does bother me quite a bit. So I hate that we're 16th. I hate that we're the best worst team. That's not an accomplishment. That's honestly a disservice. But I'm going to talk about somebody that makes me very happy about just the Blues hockey in general. But before that, I'm going to tell you about my friends over at FanDuel. It's winner takes all this time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel's giving you a shot to bring home a win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So we have to talk about my friend Colton Parayko. And Colton Parayko, today, it was so cool. So I'm going to tell you about the Lions. This is from Steve Ellis, who does a great job for the Daily Faceoff. But this was the lines for today for Team Canada. So in no particular order, forwards, it was McCann, Bunting, Bedard. Second line, Cousins. I hate all these names. I can't ever pronounce it. Mangapane, Gauthier, McBain, Tenev, Mercer, and then Greg, Clark, whatever. I don't really care about them. Honestly, I care about our guys. So for defense, it was Power and Parayko for the first pair, and Bennington and Nico Dawes were in net. So Jordan Bennington, good to see him in net. But Colton and Parayko made it 1-0 Canada. That is right. Colton Parayko made it 1-0, and I was so excited for him. I think it's like one of those things where, this team just really made me so excited. And I hate it because I'm like, I'm not from Canada, but I'm finding myself like cheering for them. I'm like, oh, this is so good. This is so good. And they ended up winning. It was 4-0. So really, really cool for Team Canada today, but really cool for Colton Parayko. I think that Parayko has just been flourishing, and I am so, so, so happy for him. And I think it's also one of those things too where you really got to look at the fact that Colton Parayko got some heat from the fans this year, but man, like how cool that is for him just to, play a good game and just, I hate to say ball out because I know it's hockey, but just play a great game. Um, and then today it was really cool because Steve Ellis also said that Jordan Bennington was one of his favorite players in the game today. And yeah, so obviously I'm like, yeah, let's go Binner. So it was a really cool thing. And hopefully Hofer will be in it at some point. But overall, um, just really good. Okay, so I'm gonna answer a couple questions. This is from Groovy. Should the Blues draft first a goalie? No. Why do you need to get a goalie? You have Jordan Pennington and Joel Hofer. You don't need a goalie. Luther says, I think we got screwed at 16. Absolutely. Burnt Oil says, I don't know, Bannister enough to say how good he is, but it seems like he's a good fit. I agree on that one. So good talking to you all. I will talk to you all tomorrow, maybe traveling tomorrow, but let me know. Do you like Bannister staying? And have you been watching have you been watching Worlds? Because you should. All right, I'll talk to you later. And like always, let's go Blues. Bye.